This is the traditional way of making a cathedral window. You cut a square of fabric and fold it twice to make a unit. When you join two of these units, you form a frame for the window. There are many ways to make the units, and you can sew them by hand or by machine too. I'm going to show you the way that has given me the best results. I always make the units by machine, but you will find indications to sew them by hand if you prefer to make the units this way. Templates. You can use templates to cut the pieces if you prefer, but since we're going to work with squares of fabric, you may want to cut them directly with a ruler and a rotary cutter. If so, go to the next lesson. If you choose to work with templates, follow the instructions below. Download and print the template. Download the PDF with the templates to your preferred device and then send it to your printer. You will find the link down below in the description. Take the templates section to find all the info. In this case, you have 2 pages to print. Make sure you have them loaded into the printer. If you're going to use them directly for cut and press, print them on cardstock. If you are going to make them in template plastic, print them on paper and then prepare them in plastic. Understand the info. Now that you have the sheets printed, let's look at each one so you have a clear idea of all the information they contain. See the template section for more info. On the first one, you have the template to cut and press the unit. On the second sheet, you will find the templates for the fabric insert, which is the same size as the unit. You will use it if you plan to work with flower units. And it works like a template too, so you can use it to help you fold and press the unit in the last stage of unit construction. You also have the templates to cut the windows and indications to place them on each window frame, making the templates. You already understand all the information on the sheets, so let's prepare the templates. Check the template section to learn how to make it. Pieces. Preparing the muslin. Check the cutting techniques section to learn how to prepare the fabric before cutting. Prepare the muslin so that it is straight and without the selvedge. Press well, maybe add a little starch to make it easier to stack several layers of fabric in one stack. Check that the edges are lined up and that you are not missing fabric in any of the layers. Cutting the pieces. Arrange the templates over the stack of fabric and check that the grain line is lined up with the grain of the fabric. Place the ruler over the template, aligning it with the edge of each one. Cut carefully. Remember that in the cutting techniques section, you have all the instructions to cut the squares with a ruler or with templates. Cut at least 4 to be able to practice the application of the window as square. Also, cut the windows and the insert since we are going to practice how to make the flower units. Organize the pieces. Keep all the pieces in order and place the template on top of each stack so you know which piece it is. If you're going to fold with the template number 2, check that you have it inside for when you have to press. Units. Fold, press and sew. Take one square and fold it in half. Then sew the edges at 1/4 of an inch. You can make it by hand or by machine. Trim the seam. Take points A and B and pull them out perpendicularly, matching the previous seam allowance. Nest the seams. Sew along, leaving the center seam open so that you can turn the piece right side out. Trim the seam allowance. Turn it right side out and be careful with the corners of the unit to make them neat, gently pushing them out. Press the unit carefully and close the opening with a few stitches. Now take the corners and fold them towards the center. Be careful as you are pressing on the bias of the fabric. Try to get a correct square shape, and don't worry if things aren't too neat in the center. We can fix that later. Sew on the center through all layers of fabric and finish the unit. You can also fold and press using template 2 in the last step. Now take the template and position it, making the corners of the template match the center points of each side of the unit. Take each corner and fold it toward the center with the template inside. Press each side carefully. Remove the template and press it again. You already have the unit complete and can continue with the others. Flower unit. This variation allows you to add color to the spaces between the windows, and you can also use it as a separate unit. It resembles a flower with 4 petals. To build this unit, prepare the square as you learned before, up to the first stage of folding. Before folding and closing for the last time, insert a square of contrast fabric into each unit. Secure the square with a few stitches, keeping in mind that it must completely cover the base of the unit. Now, to close the unit, fold the corners toward the center and sew with a few stitches that go through all the layers of fabric. Also, sew and secure the corners at 1/4 inch, going through all layers of fabric too. Check that the corner of the inserted fabric is inside the unit and secure. The block. When you have several units done, start joining them together. To learn this block, we are going to use 4 units. You can sew them by machine or by hand. If you like to sew them by hand, join 2 units with the front facing each other. Make sure they match well. Sew with a whip stitch from the start point to the end. Open the 2 units and you have the window frame. If you prefer to do it by machine, join the 2 units as you did before and sew them together. Be careful and check the endpoints to be careful and check that the endpoints be completely sewn and neat. Join and sew the other units in the same way. Go to the seams section for more info. Application. Window templates. Cutting. Prepare the templates and cut the pieces of fabric. Remember that you don't have the seam allowance for the windows. The edges are wrapped in the frame when applying. Place the fabric inside the window frame and secure it with a pin. Fold the fabric of the frame over the edge of the window fabric. Straighten to form the window frame. You can sew it by machine or by hand. Now, check the Applying the Window section for step-by-step instructions. Get ready for the project. To analyze the practice, you can use the table Practice with Muslin that you will find in the Resources section. Take note of each aspect, whether or not you achieved your goal, the level of difficulty you experienced, and the time it took to do it. Analyze the process and see if you need more practice. Take note of the points where you have struggled and consider what changes you could make to overcome them. With all the information you have, you can now complete the time management table for your project. Check the Resources section for more information. Read the tutorial instructions carefully and identify the different stages. Visualize each task based on your practice with muslin experience. Assign a schedule according to your daily routine and start little by little, gradually incorporating these new activities. Choose the duration of each task so that you can perform it and according to your experience in practice. If it takes you an hour to complete the block, for example, don't give the task a half-an-hour duration. Take into account the stages that you have found difficult in practice. Consider repeating the practice before starting the project. If not, Keep this in mind and pay more attention when doing the task. Now, go to the project section and let's get started.